Hi, I'm Nancy O'Neill. Today on Suncoast FYI, we talk to Olympia Baylou, the founder of Blooming Impressions, Festival Director Lucy Nicandri with the Suncoast Charity for Children, and SNN's Chief Meteorologist Justin Mosely. All next on Suncoast FYI. Our first guest in the studio this week is Olympia Baylou, the founder of Blooming Impressions. Good morning, welcome to the show.
Good morning, thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
When I first heard the name of your business, I thought Blooming Impressions, it must be flowers, but it's a different kind of flower.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Tell us what Blooming Impressions is.
Okay, so Blooming Impressions, it's an 8-week training program.
Mm-hmm.
We offer training in the areas of beauty, refinement, and poise. So to address the beauty component, we offer training in hair care, skin care, nail care, exercise, and health. And then we address also the refinement component. With that, we offer training in the areas of general etiquette and also table etiquette. And then the last component, which is poise, we offer training in the areas of speech, also posture, and dress attire. All of these sessions are taught by trained professionals who have years of experience and wisdom in their areas of expertise.
Yeah, so you are actually teaching young people.
Absolutely.
And older people to become the best they can be. So they're blooming.
Yes.
Yes.
The program is designed to transform all of the participants into more confident and more radiant individuals.
Okay. Now, so who is the program available to?
Okay, so in years past, the program was only available to females, but in our effort to address the overwhelming demand to offer the program to males, we have done just that. So the program is offered to teens and post-teen, male and females.
Okay. So and I think it's a wonderful thing to start them off when they're young. 13, to start building their self-confidence.
Absolutely.
And get the foundation.
Yes.
Get the foundation set. So there is a set course, you said.
Absolutely.
And when does the enrollment start? And do they go consecutively, or how does that work, Olympia?
Yes. So Blooming Impressions offer a continuing 8-week cycle. The first cycle is geared to work with females 13 to 20. And that enrollment is taking place this coming fall on August the 26th. Then the second enrollment cycle is geared up to young males, 13 to 20. And that enrollment cycle will take place on November the 4th. And then the final, or the third enrollment cycle, it's geared to young adults, 21 on up, male and female, and that enrollment cycle will take place on January the 13th.
Okay, and they're 8-week courses?
They are 8-week courses.
So they have 2 weeks of each of those for the dress, makeup. What do you do for men on makeup?
So, absolutely. I've had that question asked before. So for our males, a lot of the issues that they have are they're in that age where they're starting to grow facial hair.
Right.
And when they start to shave, it irritates the skin.
Sure.
So males will sometimes have hair bumps. And what our advisor does, she not only addresses that issue of hair bumps, acne, but also more than ever, young men are they're paying more attention to the way they look. So there are products that makes their skin glow without looking too gleaming, and also just the overall appearance.
Okay, all right. Now, where does the program take place, Olympia?
All of our sessions, all of Blooming Impressions sessions take place on Saturdays from 9 to 11 inside the private dining room at the Cine Bistro Theater.
Oh, lovely.
That is located at the Westfield Siesta Key Mall, which is formerly known as the Westfield Shopping Center. So we chose that location because it is centrally located between North and South Sarasota. It is also very stunning in appearance. If you haven't visited that location, a Cine Bistro, I invite you to do so. It's very stunning. And it also has a very warm and welcoming, inviting feeling to it.
Now, how many do you have in a class?
20. The maximum is 20.
Is 20. Okay. And again, you know, we talked about, yes, the one of the things on your website, it said building people from within. I like that a lot.
Absolutely. And one of the taglines we have on our website is cultivating intellectual and physical beauty. And most people, when you say physical beauty, they understand that, the hair, the makeup, but most people do not understand intellectual beauty. So one of the sessions, or two of the sessions that we offer, is budgeting and finance. In that budgeting session, we're teaching these participants how to save money, how to avoid excessive debt. And then that second part of the session, the second hour, it addresses finances. So when they're 18 and they start to receive the credit card applications in the mail, how to avoid them, how to avoid getting in large amounts of debt, how also to improve their credit score, to keep their credit score polished, so when they do go buy a home or a car, they can get the best rates possible. It's important. Absolutely.
Start when you're young.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I mean, that is such great advice.
Absolutely.
So where can our viewers and possible clients of yours go to find you?
Yes, well, I invite everyone to visit our website. It's www.bloomingimpressionsfl.com. On our website, the viewer can take a look at the programs, some of them that I have described already, and then the additional sessions that I haven't described today. But they can take a look at those sessions. They can take a look at the costs for the sessions. Also, they can enroll and register on the website. We have a blog. Also, they can see what we're doing in the community.
Well, thank you. There's lots to look at. So thanks for being here. Really enjoyed chatting with you.
Thank you. I enjoy it.
Thank you. Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, we talk to Suncoast Charities for Children. Please stay tuned. Our next guest today is Lucy Nicandri, the Festival Director for the 33rd Annual Powerboat Grand Prix with the Suncoast Charity for Children's. Welcome back, Lucy.
It's great to be here, Nancy.
Another year.
Another year.
Just like that.
33
Just
years.
like that.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Time flies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot to talk about. 12 different events this year. Now, you said you've only added a couple, but just 12 sounds like, oh my gosh, how do you get to all of them? Can you tell us what they are and when they start?
Yeah, well, the festival starts June 24th. It runs through the Bayfront Fireworks, which the charity also produces with Marina Jack, on July 4th. So in between that time, we have a golf classic, we have a car show, a fun run, which means any kind of boat, whether it's a kayak to a powerboat. We want you to come out to the fun run. We also have a new event, which is going to be at McCurdy's Comedy Theater on Wednesday. It's a comedy night. We're going to pick on, Les told me he's going to pick on some of the local race teams, so that should be a fun night. We have the Friendliest Catch Fishing Tournament, which is where we bring all the clients from the various agencies we provide support and services to out for a catch and release day on the water, which is wonderful. We're going to have a meet and greet who's in the driver's seat event, where the public can come. 18 and under is free. All the teams will be there signing autographs. That's going to be at the Hyatt. And we have our kick-off party this year at Selby Gardens. So we're very excited about that.
Wow, that's beautiful.
That's going to be a beautiful location. And then we get into the racing weekend. We have a block party, which is going to be on the Friday before the races, June 30th, and 2 full days of racing, Saturday and Sunday. Sunday will be the big boats out on the water right off Lido Beach. So we're going to be action-packed with a lot of different events.
How many boats do you have signed up at this point?
Right now, our count's looking excellent. We have 30 boats signed up so far. This doesn't include what we call a super stock category of boats that race. So you're going to see a lot of bigger boats this year. We had a particular class, which is called the Super Cat class. These are the boats people like to see out there on the water. We've got a lot of teams coming in town this year. One, because we've had expanded TV coverage around the world. 2, there's no competing race during the month of June, so it's really helped our boat count.
Okay, so last year was the first year that it was shown around the world.
Yes.
And you said it's expanded this year. Go ahead.
Yes,
Sorry.
Fox Sports came in last year, and they show a delayed broadcast, which actually has aired over 50 times into 135 countries.
Wow.
This year they've partnered with 3 other regional networks to increase that coverage to 193 countries. So that's fantastic news. With that, that's also attracted some national sponsors like Jimmy John's, Mercury Racing. So we're going to do a brand new fan fest, which used to be called Powerboats by the Bay in the Van Wezel parking lot.
Yep.
But we're going to have a lot of displays down there this year. It's free of charge July 1st, a big tent where people can watch the boats launch. You can watch the races live stream both Saturday and Sunday. So if you don't want to go out to the beach, come down to the Fan Fest. Plenty of vendors, food, music. We've got a great Caribbean Chillers Jimmy Buffett band that's going to be playing. So go to the website, Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix.org, and it'll list all the events, dates, times, entertainment, everything you need to know.
Okay, so we know that it's a fun event, but we also know what the reason for the event is. Could you tell us about the charities, please?
Absolutely, I'd love to. Suncoast Charities for Children, this is one of our biggest fundraisers of the year. This and Thunder by the Bay are our 2 big fundraisers. Every year we give a grant to the Suncoast Foundation, which reinvests that money into 5 area nonprofit agencies serving clients with special needs, children, teens, and adults. Those agencies include the Haven, Children First, the Florida Center, Sarasota County Special Olympics, and Loveland Center. So you've got agencies from Northport through Venice that are impacted, over 8,000 clients a year. We've built facilities. We keep those facilities repaired and modernized. We provide funding when there may be a shortfall of funding. The agencies can apply to the foundation with a request. So this has been ongoing since the first year this festival started. So it's a big impact on so many kids, children, I should say children, teens, and adults right here locally that have special needs.
Wow. Now, can you tell me a little history about it? Who started this, Lucy?
It actually started in 1985. It was a group of businessmen, primarily from the construction industry at the time. Gene Whipp was a local resident and a racer, and Gene got this started. He pulled everybody together and got it going, and it started as a boat race. At the time, I think it went from St. Petersburg all the way to Venice.
Wow.
Back in the day, right? So what started as a weekend race morphed into a festival. And that's part of the reason we injected so many other events, because some people may be into boat racing, some aren't, some want to be a part of the festival. We really wanted to try to tie everything in where people could enjoy it. A lot of the events are free, but end it with the boat races as the highlight of the entire festival, and then of course the July 4th fireworks. Yeah.
Now, how long have you been with the event?
I started as a volunteer year 2. And then I came into this role 10 years ago as the festival director, but Gene got me involved. I can remember my first job was selling sodas out of a soda trailer at one of the agencies when they were giving tours, and the rest is history. I've been involved ever since. So.
And you're doing such an amazing job, and thank you so much for all the time and effort you put in.
It's not just me, Nancy. We have over 300 volunteers that get involved. We've got a great volunteer board, so it's a lot of people around me.
Sure.
We all work together to make it happen. So it's great. We're looking forward to this year.
You need to be the steering.
I'll kind of steer the boat.
Yeah,
I'll steer the boat, right?
So one more time, where can our viewers go to find out all the information about all your 12 events?
Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix.org. You can buy your tickets there to the comedy night, to the kickoff party, and the information on the live streaming of the race during that weekend is all on there as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you,
see
Nancy.
soon. Have
Great
a
to be
great
here.
time.
Down here from Chicago every year.
Coming up next on Suncoast FYI, we talk to SNN's Chief Meteorologist, Justin Mosely. Please stay with us. SNN's Chief Meteorologist, Justin Mosely, is here with us today to talk about this year's hurricane season. Hi, Justin.
Hello.
You've got a busy schedule coming up.
Absolutely.
Well, I hope not too busy. We are in hurricane season.
We are.
Okay. How long does the season last? Too
Well,
long, but how long?
Exactly. It is too long. We don't want to have to deal with it at all. But the season runs from the beginning of June until the end of November. So quite a stretch there that we have to be on guard and prepared for tropical activity.
Okay. And when do we typically see the bell curve start to go up and wane?
Okay, well, the peak of the season
Yes.
traditionally is September 10th. That's when we have the warmest sea surface temperatures over the Atlantic Ocean. The wind shear in the upper atmosphere is at its minimum, so that's when we see the heart of the hurricane season and typically the most activity then.
Okay. Well, I know that we've had a lot warmer weather already this year. Is that going to be causing more storms? Do you see predictions going in that direction?
Well, right now the Atlantic Basin is running a little bit above average as far as temperature is concerned, and you have to think of the heat content in the ocean as fuel for these storms. So, yeah, the warmer the oceans are, the more energy there is out there to be released into these tropical systems, and that's something that is concerning to us. And the season does call for above average numbers out there.
Okay. So with the indications, where do you get those from? I mean, like you said, we know the temperatures are higher, but how do you base all of that information to know that this is going to be an especially busy year?
Well, we rely on two different agencies to give us seasonal predictions. And when I say seasonal predictions, those are those numbers that you hear come out. There's going to be 10 to 12 named storms, or 6 to 9 hurricanes, and that comes from either Colorado State University or NOAA, which is the government agency that owns the National Hurricane Center. And both organizations put out their numbers, their predictions. But I mean, we like to look at those numbers as scientists, but it only takes one storm for it to be a busy season for you. And that's the point I really want to drive home. I think back to 1992 with Hurricane Andrew, it was a very, very slow season, a very slow start to the season as well. Andrew was the first named storm to happen in August. Keep in mind the season starts in June, but Andrew didn't happen until August. And that was a devastating storm for South Florida, Category 5 hurricane hitting South Dade County there. So it only takes one storm for it to be an active season for you. That's why we all need to be prepared.
What's the best way to prepare, Justin?
Well, we need to think about, the first thing I like to tell people is to know your zone, so to speak. Where you live, are you in an evacuation zone or not? If you are, you want to run from the water and hide from the wind. Meaning, if you are in an evacuation zone, you got to get away from the coastline. You need to get to, and you don't have to go hundreds of miles inland. You don't need to go to Orlando or Arcadia or the East Coast. You just need to get away from the storm surge zone. So think about a friend or a neighbor or a family member that lives outside of that zone to stay with, to ride out the storm. That's A. B, you also need to be prepared for 3 days after the storm does hit with sustaining yourself. We're talking about water, non-perishable food items, batteries, flashlights, because the power is generally going to be out, and some type of entertainment, especially if you have kids and things like that.
Yeah. So, again, we haven't had a lot of action the past couple years, and we tend to get a little bit lazy about thinking
Complacent,
about,
yes.
So it doesn't take a lot of time to be prepared, like you said. So, okay, we're quiet now. People should start calling relatives and friends, and again, don't have to go far. When we start hearing about a storm, though, okay, you give us how many days out? I mean, typically as much as you can, but when should people actually start the process of leaving if they hear there's going to be a storm coming?
Well, typically, I mean, we know the storm is coming, okay? And when we put out the National Hurricane Center puts out a 5-day forecast cone that we're all familiar with.
Right.
And if we start to see that we're getting into that cone, then we really need to start thinking about, okay, what are we going to do should this thing threaten our immediate area? But that plan should already be in place.
Right.
And a little bit of planning goes a long way with the comfort of your mind and sanity when you get into a situation like that, because it's a very chaotic time.
Right.
And if we do it now, ahead of anything threatening,
Yeah.
again, that peace of mind is certainly there when the storm is on your doorstep, and
Okay.
you can just put it into place.
Be prepared. Keep your water, your bathtubs filled. Gas tanks.
That's another great thing.
Yeah. Generators.
Generators, if you have a generator, it's generally going to run off of gas,
Right.
so you need to have that in place. And if you are going to use a generator, another point I like to drive home, make sure it is outdoors, not in a garage. That's not outdoors.
Right.
Completely in open air, because you don't want to have any incidents there. And also stay away from candles. A lot of people think, oh, let's get candles to
Right.
get through the storm. Many fires have been started and loss of life from candle activity being blown over or things of that
Right,
nature.
right.
So
Being
you wanna
blown
stick
over,
with,
exactly.
with batteries and
Okay.
flashlights to kind of light your way.
And again, like you said, have entertainment, keep the kids entertained.
Pets as well.
Pets,
They're just
yes.
like a member of the family. We have
Yep.
to have a plan for them. If you're going to keep them, you got a lot for food and water for your animal.
And medications, whether it's for yourself or your pets. All
Correct.
these things. You should have a list, a checklist.
You really
right?
should have a checklist, and I can't stress, now is the time to do it.
Yeah.
You don't want to think about that checklist
Yeah.
when I'm on TV and we got this cone headed our way,
Right.
because the grocery stores are packed, gas stations are running out of gas,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a sense of chaos. But again, we can bring that to a minimum if we think about all those things now, and you could just put it into action
All right.
should anything threaten.
Well, thank you for being here today. And
Always my pleasure.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Suncoast FYI. We'll return after a short break. Coming up this week on the Suncoast, just a reminder, this Sunday, June 18th, is Father's Day. To celebrate all that fathers do, Jungle Gardens will be hosting a weekend event with free admission for all dads and granddads on both Saturday and Sunday. Visit SarasotaJungleGardens.com for more information. The Great Father's Day 5K race will take place Saturday on Siesta Key Beach. Registration begins at 7 a.m. The Antiquity Lane Vintage Market will be hosting its second annual celebration tonight through Sunday. The market is located on North Line Avenue. The 25th annual Downtown Venice Crafts Festival will kick off Saturday on Miami Avenue in downtown Venice at 10 a.m. and run until Sunday at 4 p.m. and is free to all art lovers. If you would like to promote your community event on Suncoast FYI, we would love to hear from you. Just call our sales department at 941-361-4639. To view previous episodes, go to snnTV.com under Programming. I'm Nancy O'Neill, and I'll see you next Friday on Suncoast FYI.